Hey y'all, welcome back to the Be Like D channel. It's your girl D coming back with another review of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2, Episode 2. The episode opens up with Whitney and she's at home with her husband and something happened to where they have to shake up their schedule. So now she all looking like, oh, what the hell I'm gonna do? I double booked. Then they go over to Lisa. She just walking around her house. I guess they're trying to just show us her house because that scene was pointless. All she did was go to her son's room and tell him his room was dirty. And he was like, yeah, my bad. And then she said, work on it. I'm just like, okay. Then they show Mary. And Mary looked completely different when she don't got that damn wig on. And then she not dressing like a damn fool. She just had on a shirt and some jeans. And she was talking to her son. And then her son looked like he lived in a damn studio apartment inside their house. He had his own fridge. And then is it me or did it look like it was a kitchen to the side, but they ain't fully show it. But that was a funny little scene because she looking at his fridge and all he got is milk and water and yogurt. And she like, what you be eating? Because you don't come out your room. I'm like, that is funny. That was funny. It was cute. And then we go over to Jen, and Jen's showing us more of her closet. Jen Shaw. This show just lets you make a fool out of yourself. So they showing us her closet, and then here come the nephew roasting her too. Like, what is more over here? All of this. He said this is unnecessary. And he was like, you can give it away to Goodwill or something, charity. I'm like, she took it from charity, basically. Lord, girl, you're not helping yourself. And then she going in her confessional talking about how she trying to change, and she was acting a little crazy, I guess, last year after her father passed, and she was lashing out at people. So now she going around making amends and apologizing to everybody. So then she apologizes to her nephew because she said when she was going through all of that, he asked her to help get the family out of Compton, and she never called him back. But then once she got out of her fog, she was able to get the family out of Compton. I was like, this is like a weird story, but okay. If that's what she say, and they've been living with, and he been living with her ever since then. And he just said it's all right, it's fine. They hugged it out, and then she calls Heather on FaceTime after Heather said they haven't spoke in 2 months. In her confessional, she said that, and then she said she think that Jen basically tried to just let the dust settle. Then they show us a scene from last season last season reunion where I guess Jen was saying stuff behind Heather's back, and Heather was finding out, and then she was saying all the stuff she said, and I'm like, I need to go back and watch this because that shit was funny. She said she was an actress, and then she ain't never gonna be no real actress. She was gonna be an actress. She's gonna be Shrek or something like that. I'm like, okay, I gotta see what this was. But anyway, so then they agreed to meet up and talk it out or whatever. And then Heather's like, yeah, it's a lot to talk about. And I'm like, how she said they ain't talked in 2 months, but then she also said she be feeding her all this friend juice. So when was you getting the friend juice? But okay. Okay, so now we're over to Meredith, and oh, I love this house, Meredith. That is a nice house. That is a nice view, even when it is dark and it's all light and pretty outside with the I don't know what they got. I don't know whatever lighting they got out there. It was cute. But anyway, so she on FaceTime with her son, and then her husband walks in. He got on like this little rhinestone mask that I hate when people wear because it's not a mask. You can still breathe everything through that. But then I guess the whole joke was that he don't like to wear a mask, but they I guess they edited that part out. I think they edited that part out because he was like, oh yeah, I thought you'd be surprised. And then the son was like, oh, you're wearing a mask? And then it kind of just ended it at that. So I'm like, okay, that was a little snippet of he's a anti-masker. That's what I think. But anyway, so then they're about to eat, and then she ends up telling him that her son said again that Jen is online liking and commenting under stuff negative about her son. And then of course they rewind us back way before, and apparently a week earlier they was talking at some place in Brooke, and her son, his name's Brooks. He was telling her that telling his mom Meredith that Jen was saying more stuff about him online, and that he and then she was kind of defending Jen, was like, well, I think she's just deflecting for whatever's going on with her. And he's like, you really think it's that? You really think it's that? When she's liking comments like Jen should have slapped the, I think he said slapped the shit out of that sissy or something like that. It was something that called him a sissy bitch. And then she was like, oh, really? I'm just like, Jen, see, this is what I'm talking about. You don't go after people's kids, even though whatever comment he made about you and your vagina, you're an older person. I don't even know how old you are. You're an older person than him. I think he in his 20s, young, like early 20s, probably like 20, 21 maybe. And you want to see him go back and forth online, liking comments and stuff about somebody that's still somebody's kid, especially your coworker / friend. So stop being stupid. That's just immature on your part to be going back and forth with a kid, basically, and then putting up negative things about a kid. So Meredith going off, and she's saying why Jen is pushing her. She's usually a calm person, but she's pushing her to that point to where she's gonna unleash on her. And I was like, oh, girl, unleash, girl, unleash. And then the husband is like, he's like, ooh. He's like, well, maybe she's, and then she's like, are you defending her right now? He's like, well, it's just so crazy that it don't make sense. And I got his whole energy, because he was like, really like, and then you going hard right now, it's just, oh, it's a lot. Now we're over to Mary, and we're at Mary's house, and Mary's house actually looks nice. It just looks weirdly like I don't even know. It looks grand in a way, like, I don't know, Mary, what's up with your house? It almost looked like a hotel. That's what I'm gonna say. It looked like a hotel, but with bad taste thrown in it. But then she going around, she done invited her cousin over that's a contractor. And in her confessional, she says that her cousin is not a good contractor, but she hiring family because it's family. And then usually he does a good job. I'm like, what? This is terrible advertisement for your cousin. And I'm sure this is not what he signed up for. And then she says, she knows that he'll do what she wants, but it probably take him 6 years. This is not a pep talk or nothing. This is not good advertising. This is terrible, Mary. It is. And then she going around her house and she critiquing her house. And then she asking him all these questions and acting like he's stupid. Well, then she critiquing her house, and I'm like, oh, at least you know. She had an all green floor. Why was her whole carpeting in one room green? And then she said all the dogs would pee on it because they thought it was the grass outside. Like, who has a green carpet? The whole carpet, and then it went up into the fireplace, and the fireplace was green too, y'all. Just a mess. But so she sit down, and then she talking to him about what's going on with her. She keeps saying that her son is in those teenage years. The boy is 18. Damn, that's grown. He about to go, if he going to college or what. But he ain't in no damn teenage years. Teenage, you can say that when they turn in 15, 14, 15, 16, but not no 18. He ain't going into the teen phase at this point. He coming out of it. But she said that, and then she said, oh yeah, she said everything around her house is stale, just like a marriage. And then she had her confession, and then she was like, oh, I mean, everything in the house is stale. I'm like, no, your marriage is just not what you think it is. But you know why? Because you married your step granddaddy. That's why. You're supposed to marry a regular dude, regular schmegler, whoever you find on the street. Not your damn step granddaddy that had been with your damn grandmother. Maybe you'll feel better. Okay, so now Lisa and Jenny are going to meet Jen at her house, and then Lisa hyping Jen up like, oh, she think they're gonna hit it off. They both the same, kind, animated, big heart, shit like that. But when they flash to Jen, she's standing with her assistant, her first assistant. Each assistant they keep having is a different assistant. So it's her first assistant, which I'm thinking, is this the one that's implicated in the the whole charges with her? I need to find that out. But anyway, so her first assistant, and then she's talking about some CBD deal. I'm like, don't show us nothing with her doing any work, okay? This is just evidence. Now this is Jen and Jenny's first time meeting, and Jen has some lint on her booty, and Jenny was like, I'm not trying to cop a feel or nothing, but you got some lint on your butt. And then Jen in her confessional says, where you find this Jenny from? Because now you got Jen and you got Jenny. I don't know, girl, but if she touching my butt when I first meet her, we're gonna be friends. I'm like, okay, girl, you keep trying to make jokes, but I don't feel like none of her jokes are like genuine. Did she just read this shit off of a card? I don't know. None of her jokes is hitting, but I see what she trying to go. Like, it just ain't hitting. But we find out that Jenny used to be a wedding singer, and then she started singing in her confession. I'm like, oh Lord, you was a wedding singer. Let's find more about Jenny. She do seem like she like to have fun and shit. But anyway, so then Lisa talks to Jen about how she talked to Meredith, and she said they broke bread. I'm like, why you say it like that? But she said they broke bread, and they had the little Shabbat dinner or whatever with both of their families. And then she said her problem with Jen is that she feels like she's attacking her son, and you know, blah blah blah. And then Jen hops in and was like, yes, and I get that, because if I was my son, I would feel the same way, and I would protect my son. I'm like, so why would you go after her son then? Like, makes no sense, Jen. Makes no sense. And then she says, but it would never have been an issue if her son wasn't making rude comments about her vagina. And I'm like, still, you're an adult. You should have just said, I don't stoop to kids' levels or something like that. You know, just that's a way to throw shade at kids. I don't stoop to kids' levels, okay? Go talk to your mama about that or whatever. You should. It's a way to be classy, shady, and respectful at the same time, okay? But she ain't got it. She ain't got it. So then she getting mad and yelling about it, and then she go from yelling to trying to cry because she's like, I'm tired of apologizing. I apologized so many times. And then Bravo shows all the time she apologized, but I don't have context. It just showed her saying I'm sorry, and I'm sorry guys, and I'm sorry about this. But it never gave us, and I'm sorry for it, blah, 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 blah. It was just like she was saying she was sorry in general to whatever they was talking about at the time. But I don't know, so I don't like when they do that. I gotta see the whole conversation, not just that little clip of sorries. But they're trying to say she constantly apologized to Meredith, but Meredith not taking it. But then she's still also saying that she's like, she apologized so many times, and she gonna write a book about how to apologize. I'm like, girl, just shut up. She is not funny. Who would like this woman? Who like her? Oh, and then she said she never said anything bad about Meredith's son personally. I'm like, this bitch, girl, bye. She told me I never did it personally. Yeah, I like if you funny posting tweets. That's what she mad about, dummy. She's like, so what am I apologizing for? What am I apologizing for? And start throwing a damn fit. I'm like, girl, calm down. She could be screaming like that in my face while I'm trying to talk to you. So now we're over to Whitney and Heather, and they're both shopping at this cute little store. It's had some cute little furs and stuff. It's some cute stuff in there. It was a cute little scene. And then Whitney ass gonna pick up a Chanel and was like, oh my God, have you seen the Chanel? And then Heather was like, that purse is $21,000. And then she's like, she's like, put the $21,000 purse down. I'm like, yes, move it out of my face. We can't afford that. But so they sit down and they talk about Jen calling her, and then of course Whitney automatically gets defensive, and I can see it all over her face when she said, guess who called me? And then she's like, Jen Shaw. And she's like, how was it? And as soon as Heather said great, she was even madder. She was like, here we go with this shit. And then she said that Jen and Heather's relationship is like when you were little and your mom told you don't touch the curling line because it's hot and you still touch it. And she said, so she said she know that bitch is hot, but she keep touching it. I was like, that was funny. But then they said, she's like, and then apparently Heather is weak for Jen. I don't know why. Especially apparently if she always treat her badly. How are you a weak for a friendship for somebody? I never seen that in my life. This is weird. And it's like she just desperate for people to be her friend, because our whole thing with Lisa is that Lisa said she didn't know her. But I guess they all supposed to be trying to be friends. So she is so upset about somebody saying they didn't know her. She carried that out as her whole storyline, is what I heard for season 1. Especially since they brought it up first episode. And she's still mad. So apparently she weak for Jen to be her best friend. And Whitney's just like, well, I hope you make her work for it. I'm like, this is weird terminology for a friendship, but okay. She's like, I hope you make her work for it. She's like, yes, of course. I feel like she's just lost out in the wilderness or something like that. It was something like that. I'm like, what? You feel like Jen is lost when you speak with her? I'm like, I guess she is lost. And well, she ain't too lost. She know how to go steal some money. Okay, so now we're over to Jenny's house, and Jenny is cooking with her kids, and it's a cute little scene. Her kids apparently are the little one that made the joke last episode made another one, and she cute. I ain't gonna repeat the joke though, but she keep making cute little jokes for a kid. And then she says that she had, in her confessional, she says that she owned some medical practices. But then she ended up having her second kid. Then she kept opening more and more locations. So I think she had like 5 different locations or something like that. Because she said she had 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And then she also was having her kids in between all of this. And then she realized that she was missing out time with her kids. She's like, well, what the point of doing all of this for if I ain't spending time with my kids? So then she sold the whole business and became a housewife. And then she said her husband was happy for that, because he was like, I've been telling you to do this for years. But then now she like, but damn, now I'm in the house. She's like, I feel like I'm his damn maid now. I cook, I clean. The only thing I ain't doing is wiping, is cleaning his ass. I was like, okay, Jeannie, you funny. This girl, she finna be a mess. Apparently she can know how to roast her own husband. And hopefully she be roasting these girls. But yeah, so they sit down to eat dinner, and they got 3 kids together. And then the dad was like, yeah, we got one empty seat. And they looking like, okay. And then they gonna ask the youngest daughter, does she want a little sister, a little brother? And then she was like, no. And then mom was like, yeah, no, we good over here. Let's not do that. But in her confessional, she was like, yeah, in the Vietnamese culture, having a big family is having wealth, and or something like that. And she was like, so he wants a really big family, but she's like, nah, we got 3, that's good. And then she was like, oh my God, like my vagina will be like this big. I said, oh Lord. Oh, Jenny, a mess. Okay, so now we're over to Whitney, and Whitney and her husband are talking about her being busy a lot, and she's trying to grow her business. She wants to have a $1 billion business, and she tells her husband straight up that that she needs as much sex as he does, and she missing sex. And then he kind of seemed like he don't really want to talk about it, but then she just like, I used to be your goddess, and now it's like we're not even having sex. And then in her confessional, she says that being busy is changing her sex life with her husband. She's like, they usually have sex once a day or something like that. Once a day. And now they're like down to like 2 or 3 times a week. Oh. That's why she was like, she was like, yeah, ooh, yeah, that's bad for us. I said, okay, girl. Tell all your business. And then she's like, I can't believe I'm admitting that. And I'm like, yeah, I can't either. But go ahead. And then she says, because Now I guess sex for them is becoming a chore because when they have to find the right schedule. And she was like, she doesn't want robotic sex. And then the producer was like, what the hell is robotic sex? And I was like, is this a black person I'm trying to, because the way the voice sounded was like, bitch, what the hell is a robotic sex? Like, they literally sounded like they had to hold here, stop her right there. And then she was like, she demonstrates it. I'm not demonstrating, but it was a whole mess. She literally demonstrated different positions in her confessional. I know they was like holding her from busting out laughing while she was doing it. And then she was like, and then it used to be like, all magical and stuff. I'm like, oh, this girl is a mess. She a mess and Jenny a mess. They got some good confessionals too. Okay, so now we're over to Jen and Heather, and they're having their little lunch meetup, and it's at some cute little ice castle, and it's like everything is made out of ice. It's kind of like they can walk all through it. They even have little caves that you can, where they have a nice little seat and like a little mini fireplace in the middle of it. I was like, oh, this is cute, but I don't know if I can keep going around when it's fucking freezing all the time. But it was cute though. They almost slipped on that ice and shit, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And then Jen made her little grand entrance for Heather, and then went down the little sled and she heard her coming up. But I thought was funny though was that every time she was like, Jen, Bravo would echo it through, like it was echoing through the place. I'm like, y'all stupid. Whoever did that, y'all stupid. But she like, yeah, not Jen pulling out all the stops. Look at this grand entrance. And look at her. She all like, Jen. And then she in her confession, she's like, this witch is casting her spell. I'm like, what spell? You want to be her friend so bad. Why? But anyway, so she said she's trying to remember all the mean things that she know Jen has said about her. And then they go straight into having a conversation, and Jen is basically full of shit because she's trying to say she don't know why Heather's upset. And she said Heather is believing stuff online, and Heather like, no, this is proof right here. This is Jen Shaw with a verified chick, and this is comments that you made. And she's still like, I didn't say anything. It wasn't me. How can you keep believing this? I'm like, oh my goodness, this woman. This is what everybody's talking about. She full of shit. She gaslighting because she still have not explained the way that is not her. She just said she didn't say it. I'm like, how didn't you say it if this is her proof right here? And she says, this is your name, this is your verified check on Instagram, and these are the comments that you made. I guess there was like a DM or something when she was saying this stuff about Heather. But she still don't fully explain herself, so she just get all frantic and started doing her little, I'm gonna cry now. And then she says how everybody's not seeing her feelings in this, and that she has kids too. My kids were affected. Girl, bye. She's so damn fake. I can't deal with it. Heather, why you want to be her friend? For this? This why? But I guess Heather trying to stand her ground. She like, no, I do believe that you did say this. It did hurt me. And Jen is still standing on that she didn't say that. And everybody's believing everything. And she's looking for the negative and everything. I'm like, no, girl, because she know that you a fake ass bitch. So she like, stop being a fake ass bitch. Okay? But she weak, so she probably calling back like, be my friend. I'm like, okay, so the episode ends with Jen being fake as always, and Heather being stupid apparently as always, and forgiving her. They gonna be friends after Jen was trying to threaten to not be friends anymore. She shouldn't be in this group. She called Heather racist, or retweeted something that said Heather was racist, and Heather gonna say how can she be racist when she her friend. I'm like, girl, don't go down there. Pick a different line. That is not a good line to say you're not racist. Okay, that's almost up there with I don't see color, okay? But anyway, so Jen trying to say that she gets treated differently, and it feels like it's because of her skin. And then in Heather's confessional, she says she doesn't think that Jen gets treated differently because of her skin. She gets treated differently because of her temper. And she says if anything, she gets treated better because people are scared of her temper, so they walking on eggshells around her. And then Jen was like, well, since that's just her experience, that's what she thinks she's feeling like, how she felt as a kid, being the brown person. And so basically they just make up And it was so stupid. All Jen had to do was cry and say, I feel like I'm not good enough. And then Heather was just like, see, I want to get past that. I do love you. We're all great together. We're best. Like, manipulation. Heather, I can't believe you just be falling for all kind of stuff. And they laugh over some damn churros. Girl, bye. You just let Jen, she worked, what you said, she worked her witchcraft, Minecraft, whatever on you, and you just fell for it. All right, so that's the end of the episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 2, Episode 2. All right, so remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Be Like D channel, okay? Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the show. This episode was long for whatever reason. I do not understand. But I feel like hopefully when you get to the good stuff, you know, scamming, lying, stealing, all that good stuff. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, all right?